Hi everyone and welcome to this class. I'm Liane, I'm an illustrator and a teacher, but before I became a freelance illustrator, I worked for several years in a tattoo shop as a tattoo designer. I had to create customized tattoo designs for the clients of the shop. It was really interesting, I just loved it and I learned a lot. Now, as a freelance illustrator, the fundamentals of tattoo design like composition and ornament still influence my illustration at a deep level, and that's what I want to share with you today. In this class, I will show you one of the fundamental elements of tattoo design, which is a lettering style called Chicanos. We will learn what's specific about it in terms of composition, style, and ornaments, such as the arabesque lines. We will create it on the iPad Pro with the Procreate app, because it's a quicker and easier way to make it, and also because it's easy to share, easy to combine with other elements or modify. So this class is for you if you are like me and you just love the tattoo culture, or if you want to find new inspiration for your letterings and your art. We will see the basics of this lettering style, so don't worry. You will be able to create beautiful tattoo-inspired hand lettering at the end of this class, even if you're totally new to it. All you will need is an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil, like this. If you don't have an Apple Pencil, if it's any other stylus, it's okay too, for sure. And you will need the Procreate app on the iPad Pro. If you don't happen to have an iPad Pro, you can, still follow this class. You will just need a sheet of paper and a traditional pencil, but you will see how convenient it is with the iPad Pro, so I strongly recommend it. Your class project will be to design your own lettering with a sentence, a word, or a quote of your choosing. I will give you some composition and ornaments templates to download to get you started more easily, so you can try to replicate those templates, or you can just add them to your lettering if it's easier for you. So, I hope you will enjoy this class and it will be useful to you as much as it is to me. So here I am on my iPad Pro. It's a regular 12.9 inches iPad Pro, but I put a matte screen protector on it because I didn't like the glass texture of the screen when I was drawing, so it's better this way. I'm gonna open the Procreate app here, and I'm gonna need to create a new file, a new artwork. I'm just gonna go click on the plus size, and I'm gonna select screen size here. It's because I just want to keep it as a digital file, I don't need to print it. But if you need to print it, I would suggest that you create a file with a better resolution. So you can go here on Create Custom Size, and here you can enter 300 dpi if it's not already set on that. Okay, but I don't need it for now, so I'm just go and click on screen size here. Okay, I'm gonna select a blue color here, and on the pencil tool, on the brush tool, I'm going to go on sketching and select the crayon 6B. I hope it's the same name in English because I have a Procreate French app, but it's the third one from the top when you're on the sketching menu. Okay, and I'm gonna just choose the size here. Maybe it's a little bit too big. Okay. The first thing you have to know about the Chicano style, so the tattoo-inspired hand lettering style I wanted to show you today, it's that you need to master like one major line, and this line is called the S-shaped line, okay? And it's just this, just like an S, so something like this. It's really the major line we're gonna use, so you can just practice a little bit if you're not used to create that line. So you can just do it this way or this way, and you can try the other way, like this, okay? And once you have done one line, you can just go back and forth like this, just to train your hand and your wrist a little bit. And it should, of course, I'm not always on the same exact line, but it should create a line with the same movement. It's not something like this, okay? Just on the same way, same direction. Okay. And so this line is really, really useful. I'm gonna clear this. But because you will need it to create the composition of your lettering. So it can be a composition like this. Okay, it's gonna create a direction for your lettering. Or like this maybe. Okay. Or maybe, I don't know, you could be more like this, depending on what you want to do with your lettering. Maybe here you can add something like a flower, maybe, I don't know. And so this line is really useful. It's not the only one that you can choose to create a composition for lettering, tattoo inspired lettering. Of course, you can create something like this, but the composition is really often created from a curved line, and really often a S-shaped line. Okay. I'm gonna put some templates that you can download for you, so with some basic composition like this. I think that's for today's lesson, today's class. I'm gonna choose that kind of line, and so it will be a S-shaped line with an ascending direction. Okay, and I'm gonna choose this because it's really dynamic and it's really, really common to use that kind of line in this style of hand lettering. I'm gonna double it like this, so it gives me like the basic size of the letter that I want to do. Okay, something like this. If you choose something too small, well, I thought I would need a longer sentence to fill it, because here I have like a blank, and here it's not finished. And so you have to choose the right size, the right space between the two lines. So just try it out, which one works for you. For this class, you can just choose the same sentence as me if you like it, or you can try with other sentences that you may like. I don't know, just a word or like anything you like. Okay. And so the S-shaped line is really, really useful to create a composition, and it will be useful also at the end of the lettering. Let's say we're done here. Of course, we have to work a little bit on that, but let's say it's finished. And in the Chicano style, you almost always add some lines, some ornaments called arabesque line. Okay. And it's something like this. Okay, so you start as an S-shaped line, but you just don't finish it here. You go over there and you can continue it like a spiral at the end. You can do it on one side or on both sides as you want. So this is a complete arabesque line. And then, okay, you can go back and again just to train your hand and your wrist. And when you're glad with it, when you're satisfied with the shape of it, you can just try something new, like adding some line here or something else here. And so a beautiful arabesque line is just an ornament which is composed by several arabesques with really often the same beginning, and just at some point you just go out from your first line and create something else. And you can try to add as much as you want. That's the fun part of it. I can try to add a new one here, maybe a new one here. It's an endless game. You just stop when you think it's too much or when you're not satisfied anymore. And that's the beauty of the iPad Pro and the Procreate app, or any other digital apps that you may use to create your drawing and your designs, is that of course you can go back if you're not satisfied, if you think it's too much. For instance, I don't like that one, so I'm gonna, okay, but I did like this one maybe, okay. And so that kind of ornaments, you're gonna add them to your lettering to complete your composition, and to underline maybe your lettering. So it adds some movement and some dynamics and some curves. So it's like both dynamic and, I don't know, really feminine or something. And you can add your arabesque lines under your lettering. You can add it on top of your lettering. And you can choose to add arabesque lines to ornaments really some letters like this, so the T can become sort of an arabesque line, and maybe if I have an L like this, okay, so you can add some too. It's really up to you. You can choose anything you see fit. Okay, and you can also add some little ornaments like this. Or maybe you could transform your arabesque into something more organic. And why not? I don't know. You can add some leaves if you want. Okay, so that's really up to you. You can just keep it simple like this. Or you can add some double lines that you're gonna fill with some shading. So it's really up to you what you want to do. You can keep it just like this, or you can give it like a little drop of water shape. Okay, so it's up to you. And so everything starts from just a simple S-shaped line. So it's really the fundamental line we're gonna use for this lettering. So now we're going to see how to create the letters for our lettering. It can be useful. So you just have to start with your natural handwriting. If you don't have natural handwriting that links the letter between them, you can just remember what you learned when you were at school, when you learned how to write. And so the letters need to be linked between them, okay? Like this. Of course, if you have a handwriting like this with all separated letters, you will have to make some effort to link them between them. But apart from that, it's really easy, okay? So don't force anything, just use your natural handwriting. So I'm gonna clear my layer here. Okay, and I'm just gonna create some composition lines as we saw earlier. So with this S-shaped line that go up on the right side. And on a new layer, that's the beauty of Procreate. You can use several layers, like in Photoshop, and so you don't mess with your composition lines. So on a new layer, I'm gonna just start my lettering. And so I'm just gonna throw the letters on the page with my natural handwriting. I won't bother about the style, okay? It's not the point right now. You just have to be careful to fill the composition area entirely. So on the left side and on the right side, you don't have a blank or space. And you have to be careful also that the letters are the right height and they fill
the space between the two lines of your composition. But except for that, that's it. You don't have to be careful about anything else, okay? Don't worry. And then on a new layer, I'm gonna start to be more detailed and precise. And for that, I'm gonna reduce the opacity of my first layer so I can see better on my new layer. And I'm just gonna do it again. And this time I'm gonna be careful about some spaces between the lines because I didn't like the space between my U and my T that I had on the first try. So here again, and now you can just try to add some composition lines for the arabesque lines that will underline your lettering. But if it's too soon for you, just wait for now, okay? And I'm gonna reduce the opacity of my layer again and create a new one again. And I'm gonna start to add some details on my letters, and now and just now I'm gonna start to see what style I want to give my letters. Okay. In the Chicano style, you have lots of options and possibilities, and everything starts from the same sketch. Okay, so you start from your natural handwriting, and then you can modify it and see what details you want to add. And so you can choose what shape you want to exactly give to your letters. So for instance, on the first letter, the C here, you can just keep it simple like I did at first, or you can try to give it the shape of the C you learned at school. I don't know if you remember it. And if you do it the scholar way, you can try to add some arabesque later. And when I have a sketch that satisfies me with the basic shape of letters that I want to use, well, then I can create again a new layer and continue with detailing my lettering. So I can keep a simple line, a single line, like here on my C, and I'm just gonna add some variation of thickness, or I can just create a double line that I will fill with a shading, depending on the style I want to get. So I can have a full black filling, like on the C, or a shading filling, like on the H. So it really depends on what you want and what you like. And you can also remember the S-shaped lines that we saw earlier, and you can try to add them to your letters to vary a little bit the shape of your letters. It's another style that I like to do sometimes. So on a new layer again. You can, well, you see on the I had a very, very simple and classic eye before, but if I just add some S-shaped line on it, it creates something new, and I think it's really interesting this way. You can add the S-shaped line on the buckle of your H here, and on this part too. And you can add them to the L also. So it's really up to you. You can choose any style you want, but remember, everything starts from the same sketch, okay? So it's really, really easy because you add the details you want and you search for them and you try them as you go. So you don't have to really plan it before. I said it earlier, but it's really like a game. So you try what works and what doesn't, and what you want to do with this one. So for this one today, I'm gonna keep my letters simpler. I'm really gonna stick to the most commonly used Chicano style. So it's gonna be with the double lines and some shadings between these double lines. And I'm gonna keep my letters really simple and really round for now. So you can do as you want. You can keep it simple like me for your first start, or you can go wild and and try a little bit more, okay? For today, I'm not gonna show you some other styles because the Chicano style can use several fonts and types of letters. So with capitals like this, for instance. Today I'm just gonna stick with the handwriting natural style of the Chicanos because it's the most commonly used, as I said earlier. And I think it's really pretty and dynamic and feminine also. I like it a lot. So let's stick with this for today. So on a new layer again, I'm gonna start to do like maybe the final sketch, the final layer of sketch, and I'm gonna trace my letters. The line can still be rough, you see. It doesn't matter at this point. But I'm really gonna start tracing the final shape of the letters. I can add some quick shading here if I just want to check that I like the style it creates. And so I'm gonna do the entire word or sentence like this, each letter by each letter. I'm not gonna add the arabesque lines and the ornaments right now because maybe if I put too much on the left side, I won't see the balance if the letters aren't finished yet. So first I'm gonna finish all the letters and then I'm gonna add some ornaments to each letter if I want. So you can choose to add a double line just here on the left side of the H, which is I think the strong part of the letter. Or you can choose to add some double line on the other side too. It's really up to you again. Here I think it's more balanced without. And I'm just gonna add a little bit here on the curve, but that's it. And as I said earlier, I am gonna keep it simple, no S-shaped for this one, with the style as I chose. You can go and see the templates that you can download. Gave you some examples, some different examples of styles that you can create, starting from the same sketch, because you have a lot of options and variation possible. So my letters are quite finished. I'm just gonna check if everything is balanced. I'm gonna hide my composition layer for a while just to check if it's looking good even without composition lines, because the composition lines often add some structure. And yes, I think it's okay even without the lines, so it should be okay. And so I'm gonna just keep them for now. And so on a new layer again, I'm gonna start to add some details and ornaments to my letters. So usually you add lots of details on the first letter, on the C here. So you can play with it and try some things to see if you like them. And maybe some arabesques here. So okay. Here I don't want to put too many ornaments because I want to keep my lettering easy to read. Sometimes with the Chicano style you almost can't read your lettering anymore. It's really beautiful, but you don't know what's written on it, and that's not my goal here. So I'm gonna add some ornaments but keep it easy to read. And no, I don't like that. Again, that's the beauty and the fun of this style. You can try and play, and sometimes it just doesn't work, so you try something else. Because every lettering is unique, because every time it's a new word or a new composition or a new sentence. And so you have to try every time. And that's what's easy with the iPad Pro and Procreate or any other digital apps that you may use. You can go back really, really easily. Yes, I think I'm starting to like this one. Okay, let's keep it this way. So I can just keep some ornaments on the first letter and nowhere else, or I can try to add more on some other letters. And usually you can try to transform the T here. No, this one is too close from the U, so I'm gonna erase it, go back. I'm just gonna keep it this way, so it gives some movement and dynamic at the end of the sentence, but it's not too much. I think I like it this way. And sometimes I like to add some ornaments on the L also, but here I have a double L, two L's, and they're quite close to the I, so I don't think I'm gonna add anything here. And I would like to try to modify the H here. Okay, and so I'm gonna go on my previous layer. And I want to erase what I did on the previous layer, but I'm not sure I'm gonna keep it this way, so I don't want to erase it definitely. So what I can do is just create a mask on my layer. So you click here and you go create a mask, and then with your black brush you can go, and it seems like it's erasing what you did earlier. But if you hide the layer mask, you can see that it's still there, okay? So you can go back really, really easily. So that's something I use a lot when I'm not sure I want to definitely erase something. So you can go back. But I like it this way. I'm just gonna add this on the I, because I have a blank now between the H and the I. I have a space that I didn't have before. And so with this, I think it's looking good. Okay, so the sketch for my letters is done. So now I can see if I want to add some arabesque lines to underline it. So I'm just gonna start an arabesque with a spiral like we saw earlier. And then I'm gonna add some other arabesque lines that are gonna complete the ornaments. And you see, I still have always the same start, the same beginning of the arabesque. So everything starts from one point, one line, and then it divides itself in several lines. Okay, yes, I think that's okay. I'm gonna add some little details because I put some on my C, my first letter, so I'm gonna add some here. And that's it. I think it's fun and it's dynamic and I like it. Okay, so the sketch is done. So now that our sketch is complete, we can start the final design of our lettering. And first we will have to choose which brush we want to use. So you can choose a rough brush like the crayon 6B we used for the sketch. But if you want something cleaner with clean lines, you can just choose like the gel pen. In French it's still roller, but it's the gel pen you can find in inking, and it's the third one from the top. Or you can choose another one that I like. It's the last one in the calligraphy menu. It's script, and I think it's really interesting, this one. But you have to be really careful when you use it because it can be really thin and really big, so be careful with this one. So I'm gonna try the crayon 6B and the gel pen to see the difference. The gel pen and the crayon 6B will be used with the same option turned on. So you click on the brush here and on stroke. Here you can see the streamline, okay? And usually it's set up to 0 or maybe 10%, but for now I'm gonna set it at 100%, so the maximum setup we can use. And if we use the crayon 6B, we will use the same setup, so streamline 100%. Just so you can see the difference, if it's at 0%, your sketch, your line will be maybe rough or something like this, okay, not really clean. But if you use the streamline at 100%, it like autocorrects it. So you can't be too fast with your movement because it won't record everything, but if you do it like slowly, you have a very clean and perfect line really quick. So we're gonna use the streamline at 100%, 100% with any brush that you may choose. Okay, so if I choose the 6B, I like this one a lot with the streamline. Okay, so let me go back a little bit here. Okay, so as usual on a new layer, okay, you can start your final design. I'm gonna create a layer group for all my sketch, okay, like this, and I'm gonna call it sketch. Okay. And then I'm gonna duplicate this group. I'm gonna turn this one invisible, and this one I'm gonna just flatten it. So I have everything in one layer, and so this layer I can now turn the opacity down or up as I want. So again, I'm gonna put it like maybe 50%, something like that. And on my new layer, I'm gonna start my lining. Okay, so with the 6B, not too big. You can see it's still a little bit rough and you have some texture on your line, so it's really interesting. And sometimes if you want to do some white lettering, so maybe on a black screen, it's really beautiful to use this one. It almost looks like chalk, so I just like this one a lot. And so you just draw your line here, and the double line created earlier. Okay, and so this is the point where you have to be precise. So you want to keep a smooth movement with your hand, and you don't want to have any issues like here, so be really careful to have something really clean, even if it's a rough brush. Okay, and so if you're doing your final design with this brush, you can just reduce a little bit the streamline like this and do a shading really easily on the same layer, it doesn't matter. Because this brush is really sensitive to the pressure you put on it. So if you go with a light hand, you'll have something really light, and if you go heavy, you'll have something darker. Okay, like this. And you can add also some shading in the ornament you created. Okay, and so just so that I can show you, here I'm gonna put some black filling on a layer below, and this one I'm gonna, with two fingers, I'm just gonna swipe on the right, so you see the little squares below the layer image here, and it means that you will be able to draw only in the part of the layer which are already drawn. Okay, and so I'm gonna take a white color. Maybe I'm gonna just duplicate it just for safety, okay, and make one of them invisible, and I'm just gonna work on one of them. And so you can just choose like aerograph, and so I have a white color, and here I'm gonna just fill it with white, and so you have the effect it will have if you choose to be white on black. So it's almost like a chalkboard. I just like it a lot, so it can be useful if you want to make some designs for, I don't know, for a restaurant or for a bar, and you want to create the menu that will be on the wall, and you want to keep something vintage and handmade. It's really, really beautiful. So that's one possibility. I'm gonna just, okay, create a new group, and okay, let's forget it for now. It doesn't matter. And so I'm gonna make my black layer visible again. So this is one possibility with the 6B. I just love, love, love this texture, but you can choose to have something cleaner. Oh, I'm gonna select my black color again here. And if you choose like the gel pen with a streamline at 100%, let me check the size of my brush. Okay, that's okay. You can have something maybe cleaner, maybe more elegant. Okay, so you see here I have a little issue. It's due to the screen protector I'm using. I noticed that since I put a screen protector, a matte screen protector on my iPad, some brushes tend to have a certain way of I don't know be used, and it's not as regular as it was before, so I just have to correct it a little bit. Just a quick tip: if you have a brush selected on your brush tool and you want the same on your erase tool, you just have maybe, let's see, I have, so here I have two different ones, and I want the gel pen also on my erase tool. I just have to click longer on the erase tool, and it will select automatically the same tool as it was set up in the brush tool. It's also the same for the second tool here. I don't know the name in English. Okay, so let's continue with this, so you can see the all effect with this pen. Okay. So here, even with the streamline turned on, you see that since it's a cleaner line, you have to be very, very careful with what you do. So it's easier with the rough brushes. But if you go slowly, you'll see that it will be okay, and you can still erase some lines if you want to. Okay. Okay, and so with this type of brush, if you want to add the shading, you will create a layer under your lining layer, and you want something really smooth and nice without any texture to respect the style of your lining. And so for this I just choose, if I go in airbrushing, okay, so you have oh, I said aerograph earlier, but it's airbrush maybe in English. So you choose a soft airbrush, and then you can go here and choose the selection tool, and so you want to select, just by tracing it, every shape that you will need to fill with the shading. Here I am on freehand. It's very important because it wouldn't work if it was on automatic. So you just select your shapes. Sorry about that. You can go back if you made a mistake. Okay. So here I'm showing you just the first letter, so you can choose which brush and which style you want to make. But when we'll do the entire lettering, I will of course first make the lining for all the letters and then the shading for all the letters at one time, so not letter by letter. Okay, and so with my airbrush set on black and not too big, maybe something like this, I can just add some quick shading. So here again, it's just a matter of pressure, the pressure you put on your hand and on the brush. So something light here, something darker at the beginning here, and let me, okay. So it's really soft and it has a really finished look, opposed to the first one we tried. So both of them have qualities, and it depends on what you want to do. First what you want to create, and then why you want to create it, what's the purpose of this lettering. If it's just for fun, well, you can choose anything you want. If it's for maybe a professional use or a specific use, you'll have to choose which ones is the better, which one's the best. And so here, if you turn off the sketch layer, you can quite see the difference between this one and the first one we created. Let me, oh, sorry about that. Let me put them, okay, like this, so that you can see the difference. So each one has his qualities. Maybe for this one I would need to make some lines a little bit bigger to have more, contrast. Maybe everything is a little light here, so I can just maybe take my gel pen again and just, okay. Yes, I think it's prettier this way. And of course, you can also choose the color of your lettering. Here I'm just making it black because it's really common, and if it was for a tattoo design it would be black. But you can try other colors. You can see in the templates I put to download, so you can see that you can try lots of colors and texture, so go and see the templates if you want some ideas. For today I think I'm gonna choose this one because it will be very different from the sketch. This one maybe is really close to the sketch, so maybe it will be more interesting to have something different, so you guys can really see the difference between the sketch and the final version. So I'm gonna make this one invisible and turn my sketch layer on again, and I'm just continue to trace the lines, okay? Okay, so now I have a clear line, so I can go back to my layer with the shading I made for the C, and I can just do the other letters the same way. So again, I select my selection tool, and I'm just gonna select every area. So I selected all the areas of the letter I wanted to put some shading in. I didn't selected the arabesque yet because I want to do it separately, just to be sure that I won't fill some part of the arabesque here, for instance, when I want to fill the H. So I'm gonna take my airbrush, where is it? My soft airbrush again, and I just can add some shading here. So I really want it pretty black, really black at the beginning, and then go lighter and lighter. Here I have to reduce the size of the brush because it's a little area. Okay. And sometimes if you have several letters that have the same size, the same height. You can just do them together, okay? So here you see it's too big, so I was filling the little ornaments here at the same size, at the same time, and I don't want that. Okay, I think it's pretty good. I'm just gonna check that my C that I did earlier is equal, because since I didn't make it at the same time, I think it's a little bit lighter, this one. What do you think? Yeah, maybe. So a quick way to solve this is to select just the C, and then here on the bottom of your screen you have this sign with two lines. You can just click on it, and so it will create a new layer from your selection. So you have the C, which is duplicated, and so you can see it's just become a little bit darker like this, and I think it's better this way. And so I want to merge the two layers together, so just with the two fingers, I can merge it. Yes, I think it's definitely better this way. Okay, so for me this one is finished. Of course you could always add something, more ornaments, maybe some shading around the letters. Everything is possible, as I told you before, but for now I'm just gonna keep it simple this way, because that's really the first step, the first style of Chicanos I wanted to show you today. Maybe in another video I will show you how to combine this style, this handwriting style, with some other Chicanos or tattoo inspired style, and just let me know in the comments if you want to see more. And so now that it's finished, well, the question is, what do I do with lettering? Of course, if you like it this way, you can just keep it this way, but it's also a good idea to combine it with a drawing or another design you made. So I'm gonna create a new group here. It's done. I'm gonna duplicate this group, I'm gonna flatten it, and I'm gonna copy it. And so you can go to your gallery and just select a design you created. Maybe you created this on purpose, but I didn't, so it's just an example I'm giving you guys. maybe here, maybe this one. And so with 3 fingers, you can paste what you copied earlier. And so maybe I'm just gonna put it here. And again, with 2 fingers to the right, I can choose another color, like white. I'm gonna try it white. And you just So it's just a quick example of what you can do with your lettering. So you can add it to other designs, and it's really a fun thing to do. So I hope you enjoyed this class. It's done for now. I'm really curious to see what you will make with this. So please share your project on the project section, and again, you can choose whatever sentence or word or quote that you like, and you can try the composition with the arabesque, and then you just really naturally write on it, and then layer by layer you add some details and some precision and some style that you want. Go and see the templates that I gave you to see what kind of style you can do, and just, well, let's start. I just can't wait to see what you're gonna do.